What's up, witches? What's up? What's going on? Oh my God. What's up? Who's up? Who's up? What witches are witching at the witching hours? What's up, witches? How we doing this evening? Surprise. Hi. Thank you for liking as soon as you come in the door. I appreciate that energy. What's up? Who's up right now? Who's up? Oh, did somebody send a heart? Oh, that's a new thing. Somebody sent hearts and it went, oh, yay. How are you doing that? That's new. That's like Instagram. I've never seen that. Let me see what happens when I do this. Is that just waving? Hey, Alton, how are you? What's up? I got the late crew in the building today. How we doing? It is, Emily. Thank you. I hope your night is going well too, guys. Check it out. I'm doing lanyard. Does any of you guys used to do this as kids? Anybody else used to play with lanyard? Let me see. Just let me. No, I don't think I can change it now. I have this on like one of my other like cameras that has a light on it, so it might like keep adjusting. Hopefully that's not too annoying. You still have some of your old ones? Yes. You finally made one what, Shani? You made a lanyard? That's exciting if you did. What's up, everybody? How we doing? Good, I hope. I pray. You guys probably notice I say that a lot. I don't say I hope very often. I say I pray. So, like if I email you or I message you or something, I usually say, I pray you're doing well. I pray you're having a good day. Because I feel like hope is very much the opposite of what witches do. Like, we really don't do a lot of hoping. Hope to me is like a very, it's a very like helpless kind of a word. It's like, well, there's nothing I can do, so I just have to hope that things work out. And witches don't do that. We take things into our own hands and make it happen the way we need it to happen. So we don't do a lot of hoping. So whenever I say I hope for something, I feel disingenuous. Like I feel like I'm not being genuine about how I really feel about things. So I'd rather say, I pray that this happens to you, or I pray that this goes down, because that's really more of how I get things done. It's through prayer. And how I speak to the universe about what I want is through prayer. So it feels more genuine for me to say, I pray that this happens for you, or I pray that this thing goes down. So if you've ever wondered why you don't hear me say, I hope you guys are doing well, or things like that often, it's because I'd rather pray that that happens for you. That puts me in the driver's seat. You like that? Good. Well, I just wanted to pop on, you guys. I don't know how long I'll be on, but I'm taking a break. I've been at the computer all day. So much to do, as you can imagine, running the shop. We have a very busy fall lineup that's coming together, in-person events that are really busy. We have a lot going on in the online portal. We have everything from guest instructors. Madam Pamita is going to be coming through to teach a candle magic class specifically for solitary witches in the portal. which I'm very excited about. We have, of course, my Witches of Color support group and book club. And we have several classes dropping in the portal in September. A hoodoo class from Shop Witch Blaze, and we have um, two herbalism classes from Chelsea, smokable herbs and herbs for heart healing that are coming to the portal. So the portal is super busy in September, and then the shop's going to be really busy in September. We have Reiki weekend coming up this week, 4 days of Reiki events. So that's going to be a lot. And then, classes, workshops, shares, all of that. And then we have three events technically. Two of them are being thrown by Shop Witches or by the shop for the autumn equinox. We have Sounds and Words, which is an intuitive open mic that Chelsea and Alexis host. That's coming back. It's like an after hours, kind of more of an adult event at the shop on Thursday the 21st. And then on Saturday the 23rd, we have, let me see, this is like, hold on, I'm taking this very seriously. My lanyarding. Wait, I'm gonna have to try something. On Saturday the 23rd, we have Tea and Tarot, which is a party that I throw at the shop every solstice and every equinox. So we have that coming up. We are not hosting the event, but we have a good friend of the shop, Ether, who hosted the Heal Thyself event at Bronxlandia. He's going to be doing a tour of the 5 boroughs with sound healing. He's doing like 5 different sound healing sessions in 5 different boroughs. And he's chosen our location, our shop, for his Bronx sound bath session on the Friday in between. So that's going to be beautiful. And then what's going on? We have another thrift pop-up that Chelsea's doing, and then another herbalism in-person class that Chelsea's doing at the end of September. So really, really, really busy. La Masfea says, I downloaded a tarot app and all I'm getting are the Emperor and the Devil card. I don't know what to say to that, my love. You're new to this. Don't worry. We're all new to something. And I'm not sure what type of an app that is. Like, if you mean that, like, the app pulls the cards for you. I don't really have any experience with divination apps. I am an actual diviner and I use divination tools that I use in person. I use an app. I used to use an app to record my readings and send people like reading summaries. That was cool. I switched up from that because people prefer to just like record their sessions by video. So now I just do that. But I used to use an app for recording things. But don't be sad about being new to this. The thing about being new in this day and age, and the reason why I am really glad that I started my journey 25 years ago, long before anybody had ever heard of an app, because there was no such thing. I'm really grateful for that because I didn't have to deal with that overwhelming feeling that I wasn't good enough or that I wasn't doing enough or that I didn't understand enough. When I started learning tarot, I started learning it the old-fashioned way because you didn't really have any other choice. So I went to a bookstore, I bought a deck, I got a book, I got a notebook, and I literally sat down, and I still have the notebook so I can show it to you. But I literally sat down with a purple, of course, marble composition notebook, and I sat, and every day for 30 minutes, an hour a day or whatever, I would sit and I would copy out of the book that I had bought the definitions of the cards into my little journal. And then I would pull cards for myself and I would record what I got and I would write down what I thought it meant. And then I would come back the next day and I would see if whatever I had asked about had come to be or what have you. And I literally just did it the old-fashioned way. And I didn't have any other readers around me. There was no internet for me to see what other tarot readers were doing. If I wanted to know what tarot readers were doing, I would have to go find a witchy shop somewhere, and go and sit down and get a reading. So I never had to have that feeling that you're describing with that emoji of like, oh no, I'm so new to this, because I had no one to compare it to. So that's one of the benefits of learning things back when I learned them, is even though we didn't have as much information available to us, and it wasn't as easy to like find community or connect with other witches or, take classes and things like that. You didn't have 60,000 tarot readers online seemingly so much better at what they, at it than you, making you feel like you're not doing good enough or what have you. Remember that divination is for you. Don't let the internet trick you into thinking that it's, some objective thing that needs to be compared to anybody else. It's for you. So if you keep getting the Emperor and the Devil card, what does that mean for you? Write it down and then see how that shows up in your life so that you have a better understanding of what the Emperor and the Devil card mean for you. Okay? You're not going to be a professional tarot reader anytime soon, so don't worry about it. You're not going to start a YouTube channel or start posting on your Instagram about it anytime soon, so don't worry about it. Your newness doesn't matter. The reason why you are pulling cards, whether you're doing it on an app or in person, like with actual cards, is because you want answers from spirit to questions that you have in your life. I think the internet very much distorts why we do the things that we do, and they completely lose sight of the bottom line, which is answers and results. Witches use divination tools to get answers, real answers, which means if you don't have a question, then you don't need an answer. I always feel so strange when people come to me for general readings and they're like, oh, I don't know, can you just pull cards for me? And I'm like, yeah, but no, like, I don't want to. I will. But I always find that really interesting because it's like, well, clearly you don't really have anything you are unclear about or that you need guidance for or anything. So it's like, imagine somebody ringing your doorbell and then you go to the door and you're like, hi, how are you? How can I help you? And they're like, I don't know. I'm just here. And it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? So, what's your question is the first thing. And then the Emperor and the Devil card keep coming up as answers. Okay, well, what does that mean to you? What's the potential answer there? Write it down and then see if that makes sense a month from now, 2 months from now. See if it comes to be. And the same with spell work. Like you see so many witches posting spells that they do online. Here's a love spell. Here's a jar. Here's a thing. They almost never. Have you ever seen a witch online come back and say this is what happened? Never, right? Everyone's got tips out the wazoo. Oh, this is how you do a such and such spell. This is how you do a such and such spell. Nobody ever comes back 3 months later and says, okay, that didn't work. Or, all right, it popped off. Here are my results. And the reason why we do spell work is not to be cute on the internet or to follow what other people are doing, which is cast spells because shit's going on in their lives and they need to fix it, or they need to change it, or they don't have something and they need it. In which case, the only thing that matters is, are you getting results? It doesn't matter how new you are. If you cast a spell and it works, it's all that matters, Anyway, I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent. I do want to stop and let you guys know one of the reasons I decided to pop on is it is currently 11:45 Eastern Standard Time. And if you guys have been following along for the last few weeks and you tuned into my webinar last week, Becoming a Better Witch in 6 months, then you know that I extended a special offer to you guys for the Better Witch Magic Intensive, Becoming a Better Witch in 6 months, which is my 6-month coaching program that starts on September 13th, for which I am only taking on 10 witches to work one-on-one very closely with me for the next 6 months to focus on 10 areas of the craft that I think are critical to being a witch and to basically get better in all 10 of those areas with bi-weekly intensive classes, one-on-one sessions, and homework and quizzes and assignments from me. So that program begins on the 13th. I extended you guys, everybody who came to the webinar, a special offer of a very, very good price, a very low price, and the option of breaking that very low price into 3 monthly payments. And I told you guys that that was going to expire at midnight, Tuesday, September 5th, which is in about 13 minutes from now. So I wanted to hop on and just remind you guys in case anybody was serious about signing up for the program and it maybe slipped their mind or they didn't get to watch the end of the webinar, so you didn't see that there's a special offer going on. I wanted to make sure that I brought that to your attention so that you didn't miss out. Registration for the program is open until Friday the 8th. So you still have time to register, but if you want to take advantage of the 3-month payment plan, then you are going to want to register in the next few minutes. I posted the link in the chat and pinned it to the top, and it's also down in the description of this video. And you can find it on my website at bronxwitch.com/coaching. Okay, so you can find it in all those places, and I want to make sure you don't miss out. After midnight tonight, the program will still be available for registration until Friday, but what will be going away is the 3-month payment plan. I have decided to be very generous. Spirit has really been talking to me heavily the last couple of weeks about gratitude and about paying it forward, paying your blessings forward. And I have decided to keep the low price available through to Friday. Okay, I know, you're welcome. So the low price is still available through to Friday. What is going away at midnight is the 3-month payment plan. Okay, so if you register between now and Friday, you will still enjoy the very low price that I am offering. When Spirit speaks, I do my best to listen. So I'm going to continue to keep the price at the special offer price. But what is going away is the 3-month payment plan. So if you want to register for this coaching program anytime between now and Friday, you will have just one payment. Yes, La Masfea, thank you for asking. I definitely encourage you to watch the webinar if you get a chance, because I don't want to bore everybody with the full rundown of everything that is included, because it's an incredible package that I've put together. And it is valued at $6,750 for the full 6-month program, and all of the quizzes, assignments, webinars, one-on-one sessions. There is $900 worth of discounts and deals and referrals that I'm going to be giving you. And it's a really extensive program. We're going to be working very closely together until the end of January. And the full price is $6,750, $6,750. But what I did in the webinar is I decided to give a special offer of a very low price, because I do realize that those of you who've been around for a while and pay close attention, there's like a handful of you that pay close attention, know that I've been talking about this program for the last few months. I've been working on it for years, but I've been talking about it for the last few months. So those people have been like preparing themselves. But most people probably didn't know that I was launching this coaching program until the webinar this week. So because it is sort of a quick turnaround for people, I wanted to create a lower price that I think people can handle in a, getting together in a 2-week program or a 2-week period of time. So the low price that is available to you guys through Friday is just $1,667. I know. So instead of $6,750, it is just $1,667, $1,667. That is a special number for me. That's a spiritual number for me. And it felt right to extend that offer to you guys, especially for someone like you, La Masfea, who's probably just hearing about this program for the very first time right now. And so you will have to get yourself together pretty quickly if you want to participate in it. I am only taking 10 witches for this program. Once either 10 people sign up or Friday gets here, whichever one happens first, registration will go away. You won't be able to register until I reopen the program again, potentially early, but it may not be until we're done after January. So keep that in mind. So far, 4 spots have been filled. So between now and Friday, you have time to grab one of those 6 remaining spots. And if you want to make things even easier for yourself and break the 1667 down into 3 monthly payments, then you're going to want to go register in the next 8 minutes. Or till the end of this live, I guess, because I'm not going to go do it while we're live. But whenever I get off the live, I will go and remove the option for the 3-month payment plan. You'll still be able to sign up at the super low price of $16.67, but it will be 1 lump payment rather than 3 monthly payments. So if 3 monthly payments would really make things easier for you, make it more accessible for you, then I encourage you to go ahead and register right now before that goes away. And you can access it through the chat, the description box, and on my website, bronxwitch.com/coaching. Okay. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Otherwise, do you guys know what this is? Do you know what I'm doing? Do any of you have this memory? Are any of you old enough for this? I feel like the kids, once the electronics came along, this was no longer something that you would see kids doing. But this was a favorite pastime for my generation. We would sit around doing all kinds of cool designs with these guys, and we would make keychains and bracelets and all kinds of stuff. But I call it lanyard. Okay, that is technically not the name of it, but that's what everybody called it when I grew up. So I call it lanyard. I know it's not technically right, but it is what it is. But I went to an event yesterday at Bronx Brewery called Paint and Sit, hosted by Les. Really awesome event. Apparently, Les, the host, throws these free like paint and hangout sessions all over the Bronx at different locations. I was so excited to go. I went with my bestie. It was a beautiful day. It was a little hot, but it was beautiful out. There were live performances. There were all these cool vendors. There were even a couple witchy vendors. So I got to meet some new witches in the neighborhood. And I just have been having like a really beautiful inner child moment for the last couple of days. Do you guys want to see my painting that I did? I'll show it to you if you say so in the comments. Let me know. I don't want to bore anybody. But let me know if you want to see my little painting. And then in addition to paint, she had all of these rolls of lanyard, which I didn't know until like we were about to leave and I saw people doing it. And I was like, where'd you get that? And they were like, oh my God, it's over on the paint table. It's for free. So I ran over and got like a few strings of every color. You want to see it? Okay, yay. Okay, check it out. It's very obvious. It's like, of course, this is my painting, but look. And she's probably backwards to you, but it says Allie down there. Isn't she cute? She's got purple hair. And she's holding a lotus. So it's basically like my old logo. But that's what I was inspired to do yesterday. So that's my little painting. And I used to love to paint back in the day. I was actually a studio art and art history minor in college. And I took studio art in high school as like my extracurriculars. And I loved oil paint. That's acrylic, which is not my favorite, but I was obsessed with oil paint. And I don't really have the time for those types of activities these days. And, honestly, the truth is that like you got to make the time, right? Thank you. You got to make the time. We always say that we don't have time for stuff, but we make time for all kinds of things. Like if I add up how much time I spend like scrolling on the gram or, just doing stuff that's just like random, it's tons of time. So I got to stop making that excuse that like I don't have time for art or I don't have time for knitting. I love to knit. All of these little like projects and different activities that have nothing to do with work. And honestly, nothing to do with rest. Like everybody talks about the work life balance or the work rest balance. And I'm realizing that as an adult, it's really important to have a work rest play balance. You need to work, obviously, capitalism. So we've got work and then we've got rest. And most of us are able to find time for that. But by the time we're done working or resting, we don't really make a lot of time for anything else. And I am trying to remind myself of how important it is to incorporate play into my life, doing things that are not resting, not sleeping, but not work related, that really just are just for me to enjoy. So yesterday was a nice little like kick in the butt kind of like reminder of how good it feels to do that. And to spend an afternoon just sitting there with my bestie. We weren't even talking for a while. She was painting, I was painting. We're just sitting next to each other painting, like two kids in school. And it was nice. It was really wonderful. So I got to do that more. And I'm glad I brought this lanyard home, even though I have been spending quite a bit of time on it. And I do have things I need to do. But it's been kind of nice. Yesterday, I was up kind of late just doing this for a little while. And now I'm going to work on it a little more tonight. And unlike a lot of the creative projects that I will start, and then run out of time for, with this I'm actually going to try to finish it. I'm going to keep giving myself an excuse basically to have playtime by having a project that I want to finish. It's not just an open-ended thing, and that is important. I think I mentioned, like, when I was making the title of this, like inner child work, because as I have been putting some of the final touches on the assignments and quizzes and things in the coaching program, something that I was thinking about earlier today was like how much I kind of, not that I liked homework as a kid, but I loved like school supplies. I still do. I love office supplies. I love notebooks and like buying new pens and organizing my stuff and having a planner and all of that. I was always like a good student. Yes, because I was smart. I was sort of a naturally bright and inquisitive kid. But I think one of the reasons why I did well in school was really just for the office supplies, honestly, to like have an excuse every year to go shopping for binders and stuff. Because I just really love like the stuff of school, if that makes sense. And while I've been working on this program, it's been kind of fun for me because I've been like reliving my school years through you guys, through what I'm making for you. And I realized today that one of the like most unique, I guess I would say, things about the coaching program is that I have taken so many witchy classes at this point in my life. I've been doing this for 25 years. So as you can imagine, from in-person classes to now that, virtual is a big thing, online classes, to self-study classes through books that are set up as courses. Like I have done so much magical studying in different areas. But one thing I realized I have never had from any teacher, even my best teachers and the best classes I've taken, I have never had homework. Do you realize that? Because you guys have probably already taken a handful of classes on magic or divination as well. And how often do you have homework? Like homework assignments, magical homework assignments that you have to complete, that your teacher has to grade and check off on before you're able to move forward to the next lesson. I've never had that, and if you have, that's amazing. But I know a lot of witches out there that are teaching different elements of the craft, and they do a great job at it. But for whatever reason, I don't see them incorporating actual homework assignments into their classes. So I'm really proud of the coaching program because I'm kind of, living out one of my favorite aspects of school. And I am giving you guys actual homework assignments that you have to complete, that I have to review. You have to submit it through the course player. And I have to review it and, check off on it before you can move forward. And the same is the case with the quizzes. I have taken many magical classes in different areas, and I can't really think of any that had like a test or a quiz at the end. And my program's going to have that. There are going to be several quizzes along the way, and they must be completed to a certain level of completion, like 75% accuracy, before you can move on to the next class. And of course, you can retake the quiz if you don't do well the first time. But you have to actually pass the quiz in order to move forward to your next module, or the next assignment. So this is a program that's really going to change you and change your craft, because it's going to have to to keep moving forward. It's going to have to, and you're going to have to actually put in, the time and the effort every week to do your homework assignments. It's straight up Hogwarts over here, okay? um, and I'm really proud of that, really proud of that. I feel like I'm as proud, or maybe even more, of that aspect as I am of, the live classes and the one-on-one sessions, just because I feel like, like I said, so many witches offer webinars, so many witches offer in-depth classes on different topics, maybe not precisely the 10 that I have created, but they offer in-depth classes, and they offer one-on-one sessions and private classes and all of that good stuff. But I've never really seen any of the witches out there who are teaching, also requiring you to do homework and take tests and quizzes on what you've just learned. So I'm really excited to offer this to you, because I truly believe I've created something that maybe doesn't exist anywhere else. And I think that's kind of cool. Hogwarts in the hood is kind of the vibe. Oh my gosh. I have a thing of linden right up above this lamp, and every time I move the lamp, it gets hit. Witchy shit, dried herbs in the way. So what are you guys up to? Does anybody have any questions, by the way, about the program? Because I want to make sure I address those. Like I said, you still have until Friday to register. But when I get off of this live, I'm going to go and take away the special offer of the 3 monthly payment plan. That was something I wanted to make sure that everybody who attended the webinar got to take advantage of. I think 70 or 75 people registered for the webinar, and that was last week, Wednesday. So I feel like by now, hopefully everybody's had time to watch it. If they missed it and watch the replay, they've had time to hear about the special offer and have had time to consider whether or not it was right for them, and if the 3-month payment plan would help them. And now that I've made it available, for like over or close to a week, I feel like I'm ready to go ahead and take away that special offer so that the general public can now start signing up. And they will do so at the regular rate at one flat price. But you guys got the hookup. For my 4 coaching clients that have already signed up, my Better Witches, your magic intensive kits are on the way. Tomorrow, I'm going to go to the shop. We're closed on Tuesdays, but the benefit of being the boss is you can be there when it's closed. So I'm going to go tomorrow, because usually during the week, I can hardly get anything done at the shop because people are constantly coming in and want to talk and ask questions and stuff, which we very much encourage. So it's a little hard to work on stuff that's outside of, the shop itself. So tomorrow I'm going to go to the shop after hours by myself, have a little me time, maybe I'll go live when I do this, and I will pack up the kits for my first 4 witches that have already registered. And those will be put in the mail this week. And I'm probably going to send them priority because of how heavy they are. So you should be getting them pretty quickly. The priority turnaround, it used to be 2 days, but USPS it's 3 days. And then I don't know if you guys, oh my God, this Mercury retrograde has been, oh my God, she is in microbraids big time. It's been a lot of technological drama that I've been reminding myself to breathe through, just get through, you know what I'm saying? So once those packages go to USPS, listen, I don't have nothing to do with it, okay? It is up to USPS and Mercury to get it to you at this point, okay? So Mercury is in reggaeton. So do know that you may have some mail delays, right? Mercury rules communication, which also governs things like transportation, okay, and mail correspondences. So heads up, all right? I am going to send them priority mail so that they are supposed to get there within 2 to 3 business days. But Mercury is going to do what she is going to do. The good news is you do not need to have your kit before the 13th. Our first class is going to be diving deep into self-realization and what I call self-unveiling. And there will be homework and there will be a quiz, as well as some special offers that you can take advantage of. But nothing that you have to use what's in the kit. You can for sure if you already have it, but you won't have to if you don't want to. So you have plenty of time. Even if you register on Friday, you may not get your kit before our first class on the 13th, but you will definitely get your kit well before you actually are instructed to use anything in it. Okay, and I always feel like whenever I do things where I say I'm going to have a certain cutoff of an amount of people, I always end up giving in and letting people last minute, because there's always some of y'all. There's always one. There's always one late witch that's like, I missed the cutoff, even though you've been talking about it every day for the last 3 weeks. Can I please get in? And I always say yes. I will not be doing that this time. Okay, because I don't think it's fair to everybody else, and it's also not fair to me. So I am only taking 10 witches, and I'm being very strict about that. So if 10 witches sign up before Friday, then registration ends then. Registration will be open until Friday, assuming that we haven't reached our 10 witches yet. So I actually can't really guarantee that registration will be open until Friday. Just because we could fill up before then. But technically, registration is open until Friday. And I am taking just 10 of you guys this time. So keep that in mind. So fun, you guys. It's just fun because it's you can accomplish something, but it doesn't require too much thought, And if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter. Unlike the other things that I work on that are work related, if it's not done well, then it can be a big problem, This, it's nobody cares if this comes out just right. So that's another reason I think for me to make sure I have play in my life, just so I can have these moments where I can work on something and not have the pressure to make it perfect. This is actually a really great thing for me to do right now, because like I said, I've spent most of the day working on coaching program elements, and of course I want everything to be perfect. So I'm the type of person where if I realize that I capitalized something in one area and then I didn't capitalize it in the other, I need to go back and capitalize it in the other area. And it's probably nobody would even notice something like that, right? But I do, and I need to correct it in order to feel like I've made something good. I don't know if I would call myself a perfectionist, but I definitely have a hard time like taking things lightly, and being really casual about them. I take things and myself very seriously. So this is really wonderful because it's an opportunity for me to just not take myself seriously or what I'm doing seriously. It's a nice break from the norm for me. How was everybody's full moons? Speaking of astrology, I already know how the retrogrades are treating us because I've been seeing all your comments and stuff and your posts because I follow a lot of you. um, so I be lurking on the internet and stalking. I be seeing. So I'm kind of aware of that. But the full moon we spent together. We spent the peak of it together. We were in the webinar, and I did that on purpose, of course. So we celebrated the full blue moon in Pisces together. We were together for it. But you may have gone and done other things. I know that the witches in my coven community were doing a bunch of really cool rituals because people have been posting about it there. And I actually want to drop my some pictures of what I was doing on the full moon. After the webinar, I was done. I was like out. I was up for a few hours, but I didn't do any rituals. And then the night after, which actually I found out from an astrologer made sense because the night of the moon was square with Saturn, which is a planet that is all about restriction and limitation. And then on Thursday, the moon moved out of being square with Saturn and became square with Jupiter, which is like the whole opposite energy, expansion and freedom and all of that good stuff. So I was kind of like, I wonder why I didn't really feel motivated to do anything on the night of the full moon. But the next night I was. And I think it could have been because of that transit, that square. So that was interesting to learn. So my spiritual bath, I always take a spiritual bath every full moon, and I always fast every new moon. Those are my rituals. And so this full moon was a blue moon. And a blue moon is when you have two full moons in one calendar month, which does not happen too often. It's not super rare, like some stuff that happens in the sky that's like 350 years. But this blue moon is kind of more rare than usual because we're not going to have another one for 14 years, which is kind of long. They tend to happen like every 4 or 5 years, I feel like. But in this case, it's going to be 14 years. So I heard for the next blue moon. So it felt pretty significant to like honor the blue moon aspect of it. So I made a blue evil eye bath for myself. So that was cool. If you never worked with anil, which is bluing powder, it's used quite a bit in the African diasporic practices like Santeria and Lukumi for cleansing. In a sort of similar fashion to cascarilla, but just with like a different energy. And then the practical application of bluing powder is for laundry. It's usually put into white lawn, like when you're doing your whites, to really brighten without using bleach. Something about the blue makes white really stand out. So I had a beautiful spiritual bath with some elements that I found in nature on my like trip to the woods with the witches in the shop. We went up into the woods in Hunter Island and around Orchard Beach. We did like a 7-hour hike all around the like Pelham Manor area. It was exhausting, but it was so beautiful. And we found a bunch of amazing things. And I collected like some turkey tail mushroom and some yarrow. And we found hickory nuts. There were some hickory trees and some sassafras. And it was really super cool. So there were some wild rosemary. So there were several things, mugwort, that I found on my walk that made its way into my bath. It's pretty cool. Very grateful to nature for giving us what we need. Oh, and then speaking of going to the woods, is anybody in the room in New York or New Jersey? Anybody local? I guess you don't have to be local for this. You could like fly to New York to participate, which is not a crazy idea because one of our coven members, Valentonia, is from Miami and she flew all the way to New York for the first time ever just to come visit the shop. So you would not be the first witch to hop on a plane to come and do something at HQ. But if you are in the New York area and you were intrigued by our trip to the woods, I am really excited because I am putting together a witches retreat. We're going back to the woods, honey. Yes, we are. We are going back to the woods, except instead of just an afternoon, it is going to be a whole weekend retreat, which I am calling the Witches Staycation. Okay, the Bronx Witches Staycation. And we are going to have a fully all-inclusive weekend at a beautiful wellness center up in New Rochelle, New York, which is just on like the northern border of the Bronx, on a private island called Davenport Island. This wellness center is amazing. It houses 20 people. It's basically this big old estate. There is a fire pit in the backyard, a big kitchen. Everybody gets their own beds. Because like people were talking about like a camping retreat, and I was like, honey, not me. No. I need like plumbing and indoor like air conditioning. Then we can go outside, but like I need to be able to come back inside. So, beautiful house, access to the water, private access to the water, and then all of the witches. Like we're going to have a bunch of workshops. Offered by the witches. I am going to be leading yoga and meditation workshops every morning. We are going to have a haunted city island tour. We have a wonderful friend from the Bronx who has a page called The Bronx is Beautiful, and he does these amazing tours around the Bronx and especially in the like nature areas. And so he is going to be offering his haunted city island tour one night. He's also going to be doing an afternoon trail like we did. We're going to go out to the woods again for an afternoon of hiking and foraging. Chelsea is going to be our leader there on the herbalism tip. So she's going to be teaching everybody about the herbs and the plants that we are going to be walking by, helping us identify trees and stuff and helping us to forage safely. Alexis is going to be offering sound bowl sessions every night. Okay, Blaze is going to potentially be on deck to offer tarot readings for anybody who feels like they just need a tarot reading while we're there. All food is going to be provided. Transportation to and from the island from HQ and to HQ is going to be provided. Transportation to all of the excursions that we're doing will be provided. So we will have transportation to the haunted tour on City Island. We'll have transportation to Hunter's Island for our hike. Dinner will be prepared every day. There'll be breakfast provided every day. There'll be lunch options for you. And yeah, it's just going to be super amazing. I think we're going to close up the weekend with Leslie offering a spiritual bath on Sunday morning, either a ritual or it's going to be like a class where she's going to be teaching. So I am super freaking excited. And of course, because I am slightly insane, I have decided that I'm going to pull all of this together by November. So we are planning for November 3rd through the 5th for this Bronx Witches Staycation. And I'm really excited about it. Gonna have a cute goodie bag for everybody with a spell kit and some witchy books and a journal. And yeah, very much looking forward to pulling it together. It's going to be a huge effort to pull it together, but you know, it's one of those things. It feels very spirit led. Like, as soon as we got the idea, when we were first talking about doing a retreat, of course, our first thought was like tropical island. So we were thinking about Puerto Rico, we were thinking about Costa Rica, we were thinking about Nicaragua and all of that stuff. And we were like, something about it was just like not lining up. Every time I would think about it, um, or I would reach out to somebody at a wellness center in, and we have shop witches that have connections to Nicaragua, to Puerto Rico. They've been there before. They've been on retreats out there before. And even with their help, I like wasn't able to get the information that I needed. And whenever I'm trying to do something and I keep running into like a wall, that's usually spirit's sign to me that I'm barking up the wrong tree. I'm going in the wrong direction. And as soon as I get on the right direction, all of a sudden everything is just like boom, 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 boom. It just starts falling into place. So I kept thinking about tropical islands and where we could go, and Puerto Rico's good because you don't need a passport and blah, blah, blah. And yet still it like was not coming together. And as soon as I said to myself, like, you know what? The Bronx witches have to have a retreat in the Bronx, you know, where the Bronx witches, like it's got to be in the Bronx. As soon as I said that, everything started to fall into place. All of these like random little things started to fall into place, and it's happening very quickly. But the ease with which everything is coming together is letting me know that I think we're on the right path. Even like the money to put the down payment on the wellness center, like has already come through, and it was like unexpected for me. So as soon as I'm going to go take a tour myself next week, to see the place, see the lay of the land, see how I feel, take some pictures, some video, and if I like what I see, then I'm going to be able to like, put the deposit down right then and lock the date in for us, you know? And we're going to be able to take 20 witches. Now, there's already 5 witches going because it's the shop witches. So it's me, Chelsea, Alexis, Leslie, and Blaze. So that's 5 shop witches right there. So we're going to have room for 15 more witches, basically. And yeah, since Spirit made sure that I had the money for it before we even started like charging tickets or anything, if nobody goes, then I'm just gonna go and spend the weekend by myself in this big ass house, big enough for 20 people. And I am going to do fire pits at night, and I am going to stand naked in the front yard under the moon, and I'm gonna go to the beach and like cook lovely meals for myself on the grill, and I am going to freaking enjoy this like super cute rustic haunted ass looking old house. And yeah, I'm gonna have a good ass time. So like hopefully 10 to 15 other witches come with us, and if not, the HQ witches will just go and have a great time. And we had an amazing time together out in the woods the last time we went for our day trip. So bonding with the other witches is huge. Speaking of inner child stuff, it's kind of amazing to me that in my adult life, I have finally, after 25 years on this journey, I finally have witchy friends. I finally have other witches, and my friends are amazing. And I've had many of them, my 2 besties have been friends for 25 years. So they've been with me for this whole witchy journey. But they are not witches themselves, and they're very supportive of me, but they're not necessarily interested, in a lot of the things that I want to do. Like they don't want to go to Witches Fest. Like they don't want to, take a tarot class. Like they don't, they're just not super interested in those things. Though they support the hell out of me being interested. So it's really amazing now to have actual practitioners as friends to be able to do stuff like this. So when we went out to the woods last time, like even though technically they're, like my employees. They work for me in the shop. Um, it's really more of a friend group, especially because a few of them are my age. They're also over 35. So I feel like I can really relate to them, and they have very similar stories to me and similar experiences. And like, I've wanted that my whole life. So it's really nice to have that. So if nobody else wants to come, that is fine. We gonna go up to the woods and do a bunch of witchy shit. And the haunted tour that Perrin is gonna give us in City Island, of course, includes a trip into the cemetery. So we're gonna do a little cemetery action. I'm excited for that. It's going to be the weekend of daylight savings, I think. So that means it should be like pretty much dark outside by 8 o'clock at that time of the year. So it should be good and creepy for a little paranormal activity. And the house, like it's called a wellness center, but it's really just a big ass house. It's like a big ass mansion. And it is haunted looking. Okay, it is haunted looking. It is definitely not like a modern souped up house. Like this is one of these old colonial estates that has been turned into a retreat center. But it's got like the old like flowery, bedspreads and stuff like that. And it's a bunch of weirdly shaped rooms with different awkward layouts and like random little hallways and staircases and stuff. Ugh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be so great. And we're going the weekend after Halloween. Come on. If it is even in the slightest bit haunted, we are gonna have some stuff going down. And I can't wait. Can't wait. It's going to be a blast. Let's see. Make sure I'm not missing anything in the comments. No, I don't see you guys in the comments. So I hope I'm connected. I mean, I've just been sitting here this whole time just doing lanyard. But it is about 12:30. It is time for me to go and update the class enrollment and get rid of that special offer that was just for the registrants of the webinar. Like I said, 70, 75 people registered for the webinar, but I know that not everybody made it. I feel like maybe 40 people actually tuned in on the day of. So I wanted to make sure that the other 35 or so witches found out about the special offer and had time to watch the full webinar. So they got the info about the special offer. And I feel like now has been enough time. So I'm going to go ahead and take that special offer away. But I did decide to leave the special offer price. So I'm just going to leave that part open because I do know that a lot of people had no idea this coaching program was happening until they came to the webinar last week or they watched the webinar this weekend. And so I know that that's kind of a fast turnaround for some folks. So I'm going to do that. And we've got 6 spots left. So please know that my plan is for registration to be open until Friday. But if those 6 spots fill up before then registration will close before then as well. All right. Look at all that progress I made. Can you see that? And I'm just doing like every different style that I can remember. So I don't feel like we would normally do like all these in one, but I'm just playing around. Any question, witches? Oh, I asked you guys what you did for your full moon. I don't think anybody answered. I guess nobody is really witching like that out here. That doesn't surprise me. That does not surprise me. The popularity of the craft these days has brought on a lot of new folks. which means that many of you have not yet even begun to really actually witch in your real lives. You are still at the stage where you're reading books and watching videos like mine and following other witches and wanting to get to that place, but are not there just yet. Please know that if you want to take your craft from that quote unquote baby witch level where you are just sort of imagining a reality where you are able to cast spells, you are able to divine, you are able to heal with herbs and waters and prayer. If you are ready to go beyond that and actually start living the life of a witch, and have that be, your reality, then you might consider the coaching program, or at the very least, taking the action steps that I provided you in the webinar and being serious about spending 2 to 3 weeks on each one. That will help you make a ton of progress, rather than going about it in this sort of accidental way that you might be approaching it right now, where it's sort of like a when you're in the mood kind of a thing. If you take the 10 areas of your craft that I lay out in the webinar and take just one of the action steps for each of them and spend 2 to 3 weeks on each of those action steps, in 6 months, you will be in a much better place than you are right now. And the only thing that if you take the coaching program or if you don't, and you do it yourself, to me, doesn't matter. Like I'm offering this coaching program, not because I feel like the only way you can get to that is if you work with me or someone like me. It's just because I know as a student and as a teacher, one thing I've learned is that not everybody learns in the same way. And so if you are really good at independent learning and independent study, you don't need someone to remind you to do stuff. You're not a procrastinator. You are really good at setting a certain amount of time for yourself aside every day to work on something or every week to work on something. Then just watch the webinar, take those 10 areas and an action step for each, and spend 2 to 3 weeks working on it. But if you're like me and you're the type of person who will buy a class and then never come back and take it, or who has a tendency to procrastinate, and say you're going to get around to something and then not, then a coaching program is helpful because you have someone there to hold you accountable. You have multiple someones. You have your teacher, but also the other students that are in the program with you. So, and then you have, coordinated homework and things like that. So if you are that type of a learner, then the coaching program may be more beneficial to actually making you do stuff than it is to try to do it on your own. But it's really how you learn is what determines which one of those approaches is best for you. So ask yourself that question more than anything. But what I don't want is for you to wake up 6 months from now and still be talking the same nonsense about, I'm a baby witch and I'm just dabbling and I don't know. I'm just, come on. It's so like, oh God, like do something about it. If you're not particularly good at something or you haven't gotten to a level of something that you want, then do something about it. Don't just like whine about it. Take action and improve that part of yourself or that part of your life. So whether you do it independently or you join the program to do it with me and the other witches, just do it. Like Nike, okay? Just do it. Do not wake up 6 months from now still talking about, I'm a baby witch and I haven't really done anything and blah, 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 blah. Get serious about it because it will change your life. Being a witch is the coolest fucking thing ever. When it comes to any of the things that I identify with, it is my favorite. I freaking love being a witch. It is so awesome. I can do things that other people can't do. And it's not that they're like, can't do it inherently. They just don't know how. I know how to do things that other people don't know how to do. I know how to get guidance and messages from the universe in a way that other people don't. It makes my life easier. It makes it easier for me to make choices. I have a relationship with spirits that can point me in the right direction, so I don't have to do trial and error all the time. I don't have to fall on my face all the time in order to learn something. I can learn from them. It has given me a whole new community of people to be friends with that actually get me. So I'm not just limited to being friends with my family members and the people I met in school 15, 20 years ago, or that I meet at work. You know what I mean? I have people who genuinely get me on a deep level because they are like me on a deep level. Being a witch is the coolest freaking thing. It's so awesome. And if it looks awesome to you, and you want to really fully own that, then do it. Whether you do it by yourself or you do it with me. Hey, June, what's up? Yeah, a late night surprise live. I just decided I'm playing with my lanyard, so I thought I'd hang out for a little bit. And you didn't miss anything important because I was just telling everybody that the 3 monthly payment plan is going away, but you are already enrolled, so you're good. You are already enrolled, so you are all good. But the special offer that you took advantage of is going away when I get off of this live. Registration is still open till Friday, but the 3 month payment plan option will be going away. Okay, so get excited. I was just telling people a little bit ago that tomorrow I'm going to be packing up the kits. So that's going to be fun. I might go live when I do that just to show you guys what's in it. But we shall see. Is the survey mentioning opening after the cast? I can't seem to see it on my portal page. It's available now, dear. That would be cool, but the air of mystery is fun too. True, very true. Yeah, I won't be packing like everybody's. I'll just be showing, like what's in it. But nope, the survey is available. It should be. This retrograde's been real challenging, but now that you are already enrolled, you should have. I think I showed you when you were in the shop the 2 lessons. The first, which gives you information about when we are starting and the link to buy the class, and then the second is the survey. The class is in pre-order status, but those items are set to free preview, so they should be accessible right from the class player. So you're going to go to your dashboard. You should see the coaching program. You're going to click on that, go into the course player, and you should see 2 lessons available to you. One is the info on the kit, and one is the survey. And I was just tinkering around with it today, and it was showing up just fine for me. So if you're using your phone, consider doing everything from a computer. By the way, I know that folks tend to do a lot of stuff on their phones, but I don't recommend it for anything serious. Your phone is a way to have easy access to things, but it is not ideal for like actual computing stuff. So I don't remember if I asked you whether or not you've been trying to do everything from your phone, but if you have a laptop or a computer, that might help. You can also clear your browsers. See overview. And what happens when you click on see overview? On your Chromebook. Okay, that's a laptop, right? And the browser is probably Chrome, which is fine. That's what I use. So what happens when you click see overview? Give it a try. Let me know. Because when I go to see a preview from I can change the way I see the preview. And when I click on see preview as enrolled student, I see the 2 lessons. Course description, option to sign up, a lovely picture of a BronxWitch. Okay, so it looks like just the landing page or the home page of the class is there, is what you're saying? And you're sure you're logged in? Yeah, so you're just on the landing page. So that's the landing page for the class. So you're not in the right place. So you are going to want to go into your student dashboard, which is where you're able to access all of your classes. And you're saying it's just giving you C overview. I'll look at it again. From my end, everything is accessible. So I'm not sure why that is, but I will look into it and I will reach out to you guys with more information. Otherwise, it's just a retrograde thing and we'll do our best to work around it. It's not critical that you take the survey before the class, but it would be, yeah. You know what? That might not be the worst idea, but let's try this first. I'll look into it to see what could be going on. Because my end, it looks fine. I know you want to be on top of it, and I want you to be too. I want you to be able to access everything, and I certainly don't want you to have any issues once we get to class day. So, but there does seem to be, I know you were having trouble with ordering the kit, and then you came in, and I didn't have any of those troubles. So it does seem like there's something going on over on your end, but in case other people are experiencing the same issue, I definitely want to try to get to the bottom of it. So let me look into it once again. Okay. And I'm going to actually go do that right now because we're well beyond midnight. So I'm going to go and get rid of the 3-month payment plan and change some settings. I'll peek around and see what's going on there. I'm good. I'm very good. I was talking about how I am very much enjoying having some playtime for myself the last couple of days. I went to a paint and sit event at the Bronx Brewery, which was wonderful. And I made a little painting of a little witch. Yes. And then I got some lanyard. So I'm just a whole ass child these last couple of days, which has been really nice. So, all right. Let me go and make these updates. If you guys beat me to the punch, you can still take advantage of the 3-month payment plan option for like the next 2 minutes. Otherwise, you still get the low price. I've decided to keep the special offer price available, but the 3-month payment plan is saying sayonara as soon as I am done here. So if you are interested in taking advantage of that, run to bronxwitch.com/coaching and go ahead and register while it is still an option. Otherwise, we have 6 spots left. Whichever goes first, whether it's the 6 spots fill up or we get to Friday, that is when registration will end. And if you have any questions, you can always comment below, or you can email me, bronxwitchmembers@gmail.com. And all the links and everything you need are in the description box. Yes, you have a good night as well. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know about the not being able to access it so I can look into what is going on and make sure everybody is good. All right. If there are no other questions for me, thanks for staying up late, you guys. Enjoy the rest of the night, and I might see you tomorrow when I pack up the kits. But if I don't, have a beautiful rest of the week. Blessed be.